It was a really busy summer, and I felt really lucky to be able to talk to you after the presidential debate earlier in the summer. And you said that after President Biden's performance, you really thought New York was in play. Obviously, a lot has changed in the election over the
Yeah.
past 2 months. Vice President Kamala Harris is now at the top of the ticket. Do you still think that because of this giant shakeup, that New York is in play?
I think it's tough to tell right now. I think that Kamala Harris is on a little bit of a honeymoon. We're going to see her come off, obviously, the convention as being a new candidate, and we'll see how the debate plays out this coming week. But listen, I think that New York is going to be razor tight. I believe that all of the Biden districts that are now held by Republicans, we're going to see victories again. I think we have real opportunities to flip some seats from blue to red. So the numbers are going to be historically better in New York than they've been. Obviously, in a place like my district, Joe Biden won my seat in 2020 by 16 and a half points. And every poll that we've done thus far, starting in the beginning, or actually before the beginning of the summer, up until just 2 weeks ago, President Trump is ahead. I am ahead by nearly double digits. So we are confident that in places that, like I said, where Democrats have historically done well, the failures at the top of their ticket, the fact that Kamala Harris is the same person that Joe Biden is. She comes from the same administration, which made the same disastrous mistakes, whether it's our economy, whether it's our border, whether it's foreign policy. Kamala Harris is Joe Biden. Joe Biden is Kamala Harris. And when you're running on your record, she really doesn't have much to run on.
That's a really interesting point going back to your district because you're obviously a Republican. Joe Biden won your district pretty handily in 2020. So what are constituents on the ground saying? Why the split from, I mean, you're a Republican representing a district that Biden won.
So I think that people here are focused on, the things that families talk about around the dinner table, the cost of living, the fact that they're concerned about the southern border, and not because they live near the southern border, but because we've been saying it for months that every state is now a border state, every city a border city. And remember, many of my constituents, many of my neighbors travel in and out of New York City every single day, whether it's to be educated, whether it's to work as an NYPD cop or a FDNY fireman, whether it's to work on Wall Street. They see the disastrous effects of this migrant invasion and the crime that it's caused in New York City. And they're concerned. The fact that many schools, and I was just having this conversation within the last hour, many schools in my district and throughout Long Island and New York have seen, especially last school year, and I'm sure they'll see it this year, they saw an uptick in students entering the school system mid-year. Those who are utilizing English as a second language, those who need more resources, and local school boards are finding it very difficult to find the funding in a very tight budget to be able to afford to now provide resources to an extra 4, 5, 6, 7 or more kids who, again, English is their second language, and it's taking away from the students whose families pay a pretty penny here on Long Island for their school taxes. So whether it's crime, whether it's the migrants coming into our communities and taking away resources, whether it's the fact that, in a district like mine, you have the largest Jewish population of any congressional district. And the way that Democrats have handled this war in Israel is quite frankly disgusting. And it's not all of them, but a large portion of the Democratic Party and those who are wreaking havoc in our cities with protests. Those are people of the Democrat Party. You have members of Congress who have outright called for the destruction of Israel. This is what people are focused on. They're focused on their pocketbook. They're focused on staying safe, and they're focused on someone who represents them that's accessible. And I've shown that I am accessible. I'm in every community that I represent as much as I can. You can follow my social media feed. I don't stop from the moment I wake up in the morning to the moment I lay my head on my pillow. I am making sure I am engaging in the communities that I represent, and we've done a good job in our freshman term in Congress, bringing close to $30 million in community projects back to this district. And whether that was for our libraries, for law enforcement, for first responders, for infrastructure projects, that's what people want to see. They want to see people who have the ability to put all the rhetoric aside and don't engage in the partisan nonsense. and actually just roll up their sleeves and get to work. And that's exactly what I've been doing from the moment I became elected official back in February of 2016 to today. I put the partisan nonsense aside, and I work for the people that sent me there. And again, in a district like mine, where Democrats outnumber Republicans by 70,000, I don't win, and I didn't win in 2022 just because I'm supported by conservative Republicans. I win because independents and Democrats trust that I am the person that's going to represent them and their family. I am the person that's going to fight to keep them safe. I am the person who's going to fight for those that are from the Jewish faith. I'm the one that's going to fight anti-Semitism. I'm the one that's going to bring funding back to our communities. I am the one that's going to be accessible and help small business and keep our communities safe. And unfortunately, that is everything that the Democrats are not focused on. My opponent, she's not focused on the things that matter most to the people in this district. She's focused on what the party, the Democratic National Committee, is telling her to be focused on. And that's why she will lose for the third time.